The little girl's question was so quiet that almost everyone in the cafe missed it. She stood near the entrance on crutches, one leg fitted with a prosthetic, while rain tapped softly against the windows behind her. She looked across the crowded room and saw only one empty chair, beside a single father and his 2 children. She hesitated for several seconds, gathering the courage to ask. When she finally whispered, "Can I sit here?" she expected the man to look away like everyone else had that day. Instead, his answer changed something inside her that she thought had been broken forever. If you believe that kindness can give someone a second chance when the world has made them feel invisible, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to Beyond Dream Stories. Sometimes one small act of kindness can become the beginning of an entirely different life. The man sitting at the wooden table was named Daniel. He was a single father who had learned how to carry more than groceries and school bags. Since his wife had passed away 2 years earlier, he had learned how to braid his daughter's hair, pack lunches, help with homework, calm nightmares, and smile on days when his own heart felt exhausted. His 7-year-old daughter, Lily, sat beside him wearing a purple hoodie, while his 10-year-old son, Noah, quietly worked on a drawing. They had stopped at the cafe after school because Lily had begged for hot chocolate, and Daniel had decided that sometimes a small treat was worth more than saving a few dollars. That was when the girl appeared. Her name was Emma, and she was 16. She had been born with a condition that eventually resulted in the loss of one leg. She had spent years learning how to walk with a prosthetic, but the physical struggle was never as painful as the way strangers sometimes looked at her. Some stared. Some whispered. Others pretended not to notice her at all. Emma had become an expert at pretending she did not care. But pretending was exhausting. That afternoon, she had come to the cafe alone after an appointment at the rehabilitation center. Her mother was working, her friends were busy, and she simply wanted somewhere warm to sit before going home. Unfortunately, every table was occupied except the chair beside Daniel's family. She stood there for almost a minute, gripping her crutches tightly. Finally, she took a breath and asked if she could sit. Daniel immediately moved his jacket from the empty chair and smiled. He told her she never needed permission to sit somewhere simply because she was different. He pulled the chair out carefully so she could sit comfortably and told Lily to make room. Lily looked at Emma's prosthetic leg for a moment, not with fear or pity, but with the innocent curiosity of a child. Then she asked Emma whether she liked hot chocolate. For the first time that day, Emma smiled. The conversation that followed was simple. Lily talked about school. Noah showed Emma his drawing of a superhero standing on top of a mountain. Daniel asked whether she wanted anything from the counter. Emma politely said no, but Daniel ordered her a warm drink anyway. He did not treat her like someone fragile. He treated her like someone who belonged. That small difference meant everything. Emma eventually admitted that she sometimes hated walking into places because she could feel people watching her. Daniel listened without interrupting. He understood something about invisible pain because he carried plenty of it himself. He told her that after losing his wife, he had spent months believing everyone else had moved forward while his family remained stuck in the past. Then he had learned that healing did not mean forgetting the person you lost. It meant learning how to live while carrying their memory. Emma looked down at her hands. She quietly admitted that she sometimes wished she could wake up and be someone else. Daniel did not give her a dramatic speech. He simply told her that she did not need to become someone else to deserve a good life. She had already survived things that many people could not imagine, and there was strength in that. Her prosthetic did not define her. Neither did the looks of strangers. She was still Emma, with dreams, fears, talents, mistakes, and a future that had not been written yet. Those words stayed with her. A few weeks later, Emma returned to the same cafe. This time, she was carrying a folder filled with drawings. She had discovered that Noah loved art, and they had started exchanging drawings whenever she visited. But something was different that afternoon. Emma looked nervous. She had been accepted into an art program, but she was thinking about refusing the opportunity because the building had several flights of stairs and she was afraid people would see her struggle. Daniel encouraged her to speak to the program director instead of giving up before trying. He helped her understand that asking for accessibility was not asking for special treatment. It was asking for the opportunity to participate. Emma applied. She was accepted. Months passed, and the cafe became a place where Emma no longer felt like an outsider. Lily would run to greet her. Noah would save his newest drawings for her. Daniel always kept the same chair available, not because Emma needed pity, but because she had become part of their little family routine. Then one evening, Emma arrived carrying something carefully wrapped in paper. She placed it on the table and asked Daniel to open it. Inside was a painting. It showed a rainy cafe window, a father sitting with 2 children, and a girl standing outside with crutches. But in the painting, the door was open. Warm light spilled onto the sidewalk, and the girl was walking toward the table. Daniel stared at it for several seconds. Emma explained that the painting represented the day she had almost turned around and gone home. She had believed nobody would want her there. But one empty chair had changed her mind. She told him that his answer that day had not fixed everything in her life. It had done something even more important. It had reminded her that there were still places where she belonged. Daniel looked at the painting again, his eyes filling with tears. He realized that he had thought he was simply being kind to a stranger. He had never imagined that a chair, a warm drink, and a few honest words could become a memory someone carried for the rest of their life. Emma smiled through her own tears and told him that she had learned something else too. Sometimes people think they need to do something huge to change another person's life. But sometimes, all someone needs is for another human being to make room for them. Years later, Emma became an artist whose work focused on people overcoming obstacles. One of her most meaningful paintings was displayed in a community center. It showed an empty chair beside a family, with sunlight shining through a cafe window. Underneath the painting were just a few words: "There was a seat for me." Before we reach the ending, I want to ask you something from the heart. Comment: there is always a seat for kindness, if you believe no one should ever feel unwanted or alone. Your comment might be exactly what another person needs to read today. Because sometimes, the moment that changes a life is not a miracle, a fortune, or a grand rescue. Sometimes it is simply someone moving a chair aside and saying, "Of course. Sit here." And perhaps that is the greatest lesson Emma ever learned. Kindness does not have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the smallest gesture becomes the memory someone carries forever. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to Beyond Dream Stories for more emotional stories about hope, kindness, and the unexpected moments that change lives.